being here. This is my second time at the Olde Park Hotel. My name is Chad. Nice to meet you all. My better half and my colleague right here, Lindsay Center, ladies and gentlemen. This is my second time here, and I'm a big fan of Connie and Dance. They are tremendous people, and recently we were trying to figure out where we wanted to go next and do a ghost hunt. And without question, I said we gotta go back to Ballinger. And so I contacted Dan, and it was a done deal. So,
well, thank you.
You guys showed up, and that is like everything. So thank you so much for being here. Sincerely, from both of us, we can't thank you enough. Who here has been here before? Okay, a lot of people. Cool. All right. Who here, first time ghost hunting ever? Raise your hand. All right, it's all good. Very cool. All right, good half of you. Right on. Just a little quick history about myself. I'm an actor. I've been an actor for a gazillion years. But, you know, at some point I needed a little something more and discovered the paranormal. I had experiences my whole life. I died-ish when I was young and died-ish. Had a near death. And I don't know, I made it, which is cool. Fast forward many, many years being in LA, never really thinking twice about it. I loved all the shows, Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures. My sister showed me the first episode of Ghost Adventures a long time ago and said, you gotta watch these guys. We watched the first episode, and I turned to my sister and said, one day I'm gonna go out with those guys and investigate. I never even dreamed about doing this. I hand wrote them letters. Who does that anymore?
That's
Nobody.
awesome. You were
Right.
my
Yeah, I was committed. Shows you how
You can
committed
write.
I was. I wrote them letters. They never got them, of course. Twitter came along. I reached out to Zach, and I said, if you're ever considering having a paranormal guest celebrity on your show, this is why I love you guys. And I wrote them a huge, long email, and he very graciously opened the door, and they had me on their show. Returned to Linda Vista Hospital, which is an was an old abandoned hospital, and now it's senior living. That's weird. Old abandoned hospital, very, very frightening place. That night they had me on their show. I had my name called out a gazillion times, and I got scratched on my neck. I didn't feel it until I went home a couple days later, and I looked in the mirror, and I had 3 scratches on my neck. 2 went this way, and 1 went down this way straight. So whatever scratched me had a weird little effed up claw, right? So there's 2 ways you can go about that. You can be like, this is evil, this is bad, and I took it like as a gift. Because something that I cannot explain, that we cannot explain, reached out and penetrated my skin, bled, right? What does that? I couldn't see it, I couldn't feel it when it happened, not for a couple days later. So from that moment on, I started getting invited to all these great places to investigate. I started being the best in the field. And I would go out there with all of my tools like everybody else and just be excited, right? Started learning a whole bunch, and I got a call one day from Nick Groff, and he says, I'm putting this show together called Ghost Stalkers. And I want to put you out in the middle of nowhere in these really haunted places and put you in there by yourself. And I said, cool, let's do it. One thing led to another, and sure enough, they put me on the show with another investigator named John Tenney, who has been doing this for about 35 years plus, and they had the older guy and the younger guy, the fresh and the old, and we mixed them together, and they sent us out to these really, really haunted places. John would go in one night by himself, and I would go in the other night by myself with 2 cameras and a flashlight. I'm a good actor, but I'm not that good. This to me is a spirituality now. This is how I live my life. I feel most comfortable in a haunted basement. I find, I don't know, a peace about it. When you have a paranormal experience, it deepens this experience, and you're forced to ask questions. Well, I experienced that, and that's weird and effed up. Curse words are going to come out eventually. I do apologize. But something contacts you or makes contact, and it forces you to ask those deeper questions, right? So now this is what I do and what we do. Yeah, this is what we do. We travel around, and we do investigations. And I'm going to let Lindsay here talk in a second, and she has worked with Grant Wilson from Ghost Hunters, and she's worked with a lot of everybody in the field, and we've had the pleasure of learning from some of the best. So tonight, how it's going to work is we're both going to we're going to split you guys up, and we're going to go top floor, bottom floor. You're going to spend some time with me tonight. You're going to spend some time with Lindsay, and we're also going to just mix each other up too. It's dependent on you. The more that we give, the more that we're going to receive tonight, I think. And also, they're people, right? And we are going to be asking them to validate their existence, to sort of give us some sort of validation, because we are silly, alive people that don't know any better. And I'm going to say that all night tonight to them upstairs. They need to know that. What's that?
You're downstairs.
Or whatever. Inside. It's about your intention. It really is. And we're about light, love, and respect. So tonight it's all about the respect, and I know everybody here is so amped and excited. Throughout the night, questions are encouraged. Pay attention to your bodies, really, truly. That is the best instrument possible. Pay attention to how you feel, okay? If you feel nauseous, sick, dizzy, don't be cool. Be like, I have to go step outside. I've been there, she's been there, and it gets serious. The romanticism of ghost hunting sort of goes away, and it becomes real. Okay, this is a real thing, all right? We're going to go in there, and we're actually going to feel their presence. So,
But don't get your hopes up. We're not saying that, yes, something
Exactly.
is going to happen. We could walk in there, and it can be an absolute dead fight night.
exactly. And I always tell the
Ghost
spirits...
hunting, it's not going to happen to you just like
They
that.
don't do it on cue.
No.
Exactly. And I always say just being here is enough. You know, being in this beautiful historical location is enough. And if something happens, awesome. I was here last time, and I had plenty happen to me.
I was here for 20 minutes, and I had plenty happen to me.
Yeah.
She was here 20 minutes, guys, and had the most incredible experience.
During the day.
And it wasn't just one thing, like it kept happening like this, so who knows. And then we come back after lunch and it's just nice and quiet, so who knows.
You never know. You never know. But the less sort of...
Mexican food.
The food. The less expectation that we have on them, the better. Like Lindsay said, we may go in there and nothing's going to happen. That's
It's
okay.
their choice.
It's their choice, right? We're just trying to facilitate that conversation, and hopefully they can give us some sort of high five, bud. There it is. All right.
Oh yeah, and a lot of
My man
times
Derek.
you'll do recordings, you'll think you got nothing, and then you'll play everything back, and there's just everything's
Lots of chatting.
Exactly.
That's what really happens. Yep.
So tonight, everybody has a voice recorder in their phone. Go ahead and have
There's
that
one
thing
called voice
rolling.
recorders, they're good.
Okay.
You can
Go
email
home
it
later
too.
tonight or tomorrow. You
voice
listen
recorder.
back. You're probably going to hear some voices come through.
Or you might have your own voice recorders too.
Exactly.
You can definitely use those as well, but your phones are just as good. I went to Missouri State Pen and one of the security guards let me listen to an EVP that was caught on her phone. She was going through to check the cell blocks. Massive cell blocks. Nobody is in there, but somebody else actually up 3 stories up so that they were up there.
We
She's
have
like, is anybody in
fucking
here? They're like,
pictures.
yeah, I'm here. No, she was on the property by herself. So you guys can catch it on your phone.
Yeah, and the good thing is it's not a huge group tonight, so we're gonna split up, and it's gonna be very one-on-one, and honestly,
No whispering.
ask questions, comments. We're here for you, right?
So Chad's going to be downstairs. He's going to take half the group downstairs. I'm going to take half the group upstairs. We're going to have a 30-minute break in between, so that people can use the bathroom, grab something to drink.
They can use the downstairs bathroom for now.
Yeah, so whatever you need to do for about 30 minutes, step outside, have a smoke, whatever you'd like to do,
Yeah,
and then
no
we'll
fire.
go back in, and if you were upstairs before, you'll be downstairs next, and vice versa. There might be times tonight that we just might want to bring everybody together if something
Yeah.
is going on, and we're like,
junk.
let's all get together and see what happens. EVP recordings, I did want to touch on, like she just sat there and said, tonight, if you need to say something, ask questions, you don't whisper. Whatever you do,
Say it out loud.
do not whisper.
My stomach.
Somebody's bound to have a voice recorder going, and if they go back to listen and review evidence, they're going to hear a whisper, and they may think it's a demon in the next room. Let's just try to avoid all that. It's okay to talk normally.
Yeah.
We're not asking you to yell, but I mean, just like this, if I were to stand here and talk to you, you're trying to make it like very verifiable that it's a person in the room talking.
Our nature is to want to whisper and be
Yeah.
respectful, but not here, not in ghost
We do
hunting.
that.
Just be like,
Just
yo.
don't yell, just talk normal.
Yeah,
It's
that's
okay.
me.
It's okay. Even during ghost hunting, when you guys are all in a room together, you guys can even cut jokes, laugh. The best EVPs are caught when you're laughing. It's really amazing. You'll have somebody even join in and crack a joke with you. It takes you by surprise. So definitely do that. If you have flashlights tonight, great, because we are going to go lights out. I do have to say, if you have a flashlight, use it. I always recommend cupping the base of the flashlight so that your hand glows and enough light gets through that you can see where you're going. If you have it on full blast, it's going to hurt other people's eyes because we're going to be in the dark. So
When you
be
step
wary
out
of
into the
that.
balcony, you have to
Also,
be
do not sit there and shine it up in front of you because you might blind somebody else. I've had that happen to me, especially on the St. Augustine Lighthouse. Somebody forgot they had their light flashlight on, shone it straight up through the stairs. I mean, almost fell on the staircase of the lighthouse. So be very careful of where you point that. Just cut it on, get to where you need to go, cut it off. Equipment, if anybody brought any equipment, great. Anything very, very loud and noisy, we might limit you, except for you have your fast box. Don't get too caught up in your equipment. We really discourage that because you could be sitting here using your K2 and you're so fixated on it and you're like, oh my God, the light's blinking and something's swirling over your head and you're not even paying attention. So don't focus too much on equipment and pay attention to what you feel, what you might be hearing. It's good to have equipment going to help signal activity, but don't focus on it.
Questions?
Yeah, does
Questions?
anybody have any questions?
Yeah, sure.
It's not really questions, but there's a person in our group that is sensitive to seizures. So if you're taking flash photography, if you could just holler flash before you take it so she can close her
Yeah.
eyes. 'Cause
Pictures are
that's
definitely
bubble.
welcome, but yes. You'll blind everybody, and then anybody that's prone to seizures, of course, let's not set that off. So if you
Holler
have
flash and just
Yeah,
go.
if you want to take a flash photography, ask if it's okay first, so that everybody can be prepared. If everybody says yes, then you can go away, flash away. Any other
just be downstairs and
questions?
wait
Not
for everybody to
necessarily
leave.
about how this is going to run, but any questions in general for either
So
of
what
us?
happened to you at 20
Yes.
minutes, if you don't mind me asking? You said,
Well,
was it physical?
I don't like to talk about it too much, but I am an emotional empath. I don't just go around tooting. I just don't like to toot my horn because I just don't. But walking in here automatically put me on edge, and that's not normal. The places I've been to, like the penitentiaries, the asylums, hospitals, I can go into places, and he's seen this. I'm the
So the
calm, collected
feelings-
one.
She got a
and
look
I'm
on her
grounded.
eyes.
But automatically walking in here, there's a lot of energy that started really getting to me immediately.
Yeah.
So we're walking around, they're giving us a tour, and it was almost like sensory overload with whatever energy is here on top of sensory overload from the people that I'm with. I soak everything up. So I'm already trying to deal with that. Chad notices I'm starting to become really agitated, which is very, very unlike me. But we heard whispers upstairs. Did you hear it? Because I remember stopping you.
We basically
Walking-
went downstairs at that point because I could
Needed
tell
a
you were
few
feeling
minutes.
it.
Yeah.
Remember, we went downstairs.
We went down to the presentation room.
That's right, because we were in the very upstairs
Yeah, so
back
you two
hallway.
upstairs.
And they decided to let us be and just kind of soak everything in. We're standing at the very end of the back hallway. We'll go up there later tonight. And Chad and I both see something move at the front staircase, but upstairs, right in front of this door that you're going to see up there. So automatically we go towards it, just trying to figure out what it is. Of course, we have no idea what it was. Walk into one of the first bedrooms up there, just kind of walk through, take a note. Walk out of the room. As soon as we walk out, I stop Chad. Chad is very difficult of hearing. If you guys ask him questions tonight and he might answer something very not like what would be answered to the question, just say it again. He's hard of hearing.
Deaf in
I
my
think
left ear.
He
so
actually is deaf in his left ear, so. He
What-
didn't hear whispering, but I stopped him as soon as we left. We started walking out of the room. Stopped him so he wouldn't move, and there was whispering down at the bottom of the stairs. Made note of that. You walked over. What's it? The room across from room 13?
That is
not next to it, but across
wildflower
from it.
room.
Next to it or across. That's
Cross.
the Pruitt Wildflower Room is the pink, the room
Wildflower.
where we stayed last time.
Yeah,
The
so
Pruitt Wildflower Room.
Chad walks in there, and I'm following behind him. As I'm following behind him, something starts grabbing on my
That one
arm.
of those
It was
rooms
more
right
like,
there. Yeah, it's Preston's and Pruitt.
like just kind of like
The two
okay,
boys' rooms
kind of
right
thing.
there.
So something starts grabbing on my arm. I tell Chad, because you walked into that room. So I'm talking to him, telling him that something was grabbing on my arm. We just keep walking around. We walk out of that room into the yellow room. The yellow room is where we're staying tonight. Our belongings are in there. We have
That's
the
why
door
it's shut.
shut. It's
Yeah, that's
room
all
number
flat out.
8. We're gonna keep it shut. It's where we are grounded in there. So after tonight, like we're gonna go in there and decompress. We're just kind of keeping that off limits tonight. But we walk into the yellow room. He goes to use the bathroom. As he's going into the restroom, I'm walking back out of the room. As soon as I go through the threshold, something with heels runs up at me from the side to where I jump backwards, drop the F-bomb. Was real, like, it really shook me up because I was prepared to get hit from the side. So I jump backwards and I'm like, okay, oh my God, okay. I'm trying to catch my breath. Chad comes down and he's like, okay. I was like, something just ran at me. He's like, okay, and he keeps walking out the door. Like, do you not want to know like what really happened? So I tell him what happened. We leave the room. As we're walking out, leaving the room, something starts grabbing on my arm again, right up by the staircase as well. Chad starts walking down the stairs. He goes, you think this is bad? You should try room 13. I'm like, which one's room 13? So he turns around, starts coming back up the stairs. We go into room 13. It's the red room upstairs. As he walks in there, I'm still standing at the top of the stairs, and I hear this really loud sigh come from the whole bathroom. Of course, he doesn't hear this at all. So I'm trying to chase him. I'm like, Chad, there was someone just like heavily breathing over here. But as I'm talking to him, something with boots runs right up behind me. And I jump straight forward towards him. I'm like, stop running at me. And like, I lost it. I was so agitated. I had enough of it because it just kept going and going, and I couldn't catch a breath, couldn't catch a beat. And he's like, okay, and he's like trying to walk out. I'm like, no, like you need to stop, sit for a second. I need it like calm, like just don't move. So I had to regain my composure. Now what's weird about that is I am not like
And
that
then
at all.
Dan and I were sitting down in the
There's
presentation
two
room and heard 2
perspectives.
sets of footsteps running.
We heard the
thought it was
running.
her because we thought she was scared and we were laughing.
I run to something.
It wasn't her.
but
She
I
was-
was
The
not
high
running
heels that we
this.
heard were so loud, and it sounded like a woman running 20
Like
feet,
this.
like really fast.
Really
And
hard.
immediately we had her when she came down with her shoes that she had on. I asked her to run real fast because I want to see what it would sound like.
Didn't sound
It didn't match her shoes at all, what we heard.
I just did a jump backwards.
And then we heard you scream too.
Yeah, that was
We
that
could
bomb.
hear that.
We get apparitions here. There are a lot of pictures in the daytime. If you look over here,